and I'm sure any mechanic watching this can relate. You're having a great day, everything's going well, and in one little thing just puts you in a bad mood. That's not good, is it? Oh, that is not good. So yeah, I'm a bit defeated for today. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kirby. This is a week in the life of a mobile mechanic, where I just show you the ups and downs of a mobile mechanic and what goes into running the business. We have good days, we have bad days, and we have terrible days. But we're starting this Monday morning. Lovely bright sunshine. We've got this VW Polo in for a clutch and possibly a coil pack or some spark plugs. It was towed back here by the AA and they said it might be one or the other. So first things first, we're going to stick the computer on and see what's going on with it. So goes into gear, no problem. Clutch pedal, there's plenty of pressure in there. There's a bit of a misfire, but we put it into gear, take our foot off the clutch and it doesn't stall. Right, so we've got the computer on it and we've fired up the fault codes and we've got a misfire on cylinder 2, but this one we didn't want to see. Camshaft position sensor circuit range performance. Now I got here and the customer had already warmed the car up for some reason. I think the battery was flat and yeah, so I couldn't hear it rattling. It is misfiring a tad, so we can have a quick look at this misfire, see if we can get some live data up, swap the coils and the spark plugs around, and if nothing changes, it's definitely going to be that chain, unless there's some live data that I can see that's relevant to a chain. Right, I didn't know what channel the data stream is, so when you come into data stream it asks you for a channel, and I didn't know. I was going through all of them, so just asked Gemini and it said 14. Typed in 14 and it's not there. 15 I meant 15. There we go. Right, let's get it started. There we go. Number 2 is misfiring quite a lot, so it could be a spark plug or a coil pack. Let's stop that. Get it swapped over. I've swapped coil packs 2 and 3, and I've swapped spark plug 2 and 1. Came back in, and the misfire was still on that second middle row. So the only other thing I can do is swap the injectors about and see if that moves. If it doesn't move, yeah, I think we're looking at a timing chain and maybe some valves, or the valves have been sort of coked up, but I wouldn't have thought it would have caused a misfire that severe. So, as you can see, I'm not laid underneath a Polo taking a clutch out. Customer come out as I was just doing a bit of diagnostic work, and like I said, I swapped over the coil pack and the spark plug. The fault and the misfire on live data stayed on cylinder 2. Swapped the injectors around, stayed on cylinder 2. So yeah, that pretty much, to me, well, it either confirms the timing chain is stretched, or the other option would be there's a bit of carbon on the back of the valves, but I don't think that's the case, to be honest. You know, especially with that camshaft position range performance fault. So yeah, I've lost out on a day's money because that's all I've booked in. It was booked in for a clutch and a service, so it won't be getting that now. I obviously charged a call out and diagnostic fee, which is $120. Let me know if that's expensive. I don't know, but I used to charge, when I first started, £45 to go out and look at cars, and you know, it just weren't worth my time. Once you take out fuel, insurance, all the costs that running a business, it was like going out for free. Upped it to about 60. Again, it weren't bad, but again, by the time you factor in everything, and then spending an hour, sometimes more, looking at these cars, yeah, you're losing money. So I tried 120, and people pay for it all the time. They're happy to pay for it. I feel like I give accurate and fair diagnostics. So yeah, I'm happy with that. But anyway, I digress. I don't know quite what to do with myself today now. I've got some admin to do. Might go up the unit, have a clear up there because it's a bit of a mess. Maybe there's a job or two that I can bring forward. Maybe I can go work on a vehicle that I've got up there, the Porsche, one of my vans. That's probably a good idea. Right, anyway, let's get going. Right, up the unit now. Just getting rid of some scrap. It's our scrap bin that's gone, load of batteries, and this is all my mess when I changed over vans. And then all this back area needs sorting out as well. Again, a lot of my crap I've had in a garage or wherever. It's just been thrown back here. Most of it can go, to be honest. But yeah, don't really know what else to do with myself today. I could try and pull a job or two forward, but might have an easy day. Well, that's Monday out of the way. Just had a bit of a tidy up at the unit. Not going to show you that. A bit of sweeping, but a bit of rubbish in the bin. So yeah, made some headway, making the unit look nice. And then I got a call from one of my customers. He lives out in Dubai most of the year, and every year he gets a battery. I see the phone ring, and I know it's him wanting a battery on his old Merc. So just went round there, fitted that, and that's it for the day. Nice easy day. Like I said, lost out on a bit of money, but made a little bit back. Tomorrow is meant to be roasting, so got a couple of jobs on. So it might be a quiet day with the heat, because I think it's getting up to like 33, 34, and nobody wants to be working out in the direct sunlight. But anyway, Monday done. If you're new here, it does get better. It's just a shame for you guys that job cancelled, but I might buy that Polo. It needs a clutch and a timing chain, but other than that, it's got low mileage, and you know, bodywork was good, and apparently it had good service history. So I might even buy it off him, give him an offer, make back my money for the day in another way. Anyway, see you tomorrow. It's Tuesday, and I'm in the van on the way to my brother's house to service his car. He lives about 50 minutes from me, so a bit of time to have a chat. So just a couple of services today at the minute, and then I've got another Zoom meeting with my friend for mentorship. So if this is the first time you're watching this, me and a friend, another mobile mechanic that I'd consider more successful than me. He's got, you know, 4 or 5 mechanics working for him now. We're going to team up and create a mentorship program for people that want to start their own mobile mechanic business, or you've been doing mobile mechanics for a little while, but you want to accelerate your business, earn some more money, have some more free time, maybe even hire some staff. So we've got a little Zoom meeting for that. And if you're interested in that, I'll leave my email in the description. So give me an email and we can talk about what we can offer. So yeah, yesterday was a bit of a washout, really. Well, in the end, you know, I charged him for my diagnostic fee for the clutch, and then I had a battery. So, you know, I made some money. And I'm going to buy the Polo. So he said, well, I might as well just stick it up on eBay, see if I can get a couple of £100 for it. He said it's probably worth about 1,400. So I had a quick look at the parts for the clutch and the timing chain, and then potentially what it's worth, and then put my hours into it. I reckon on a good day, on an absolutely great day, that car is worth £2,000. But that's after, yeah, I don't know. I haven't got my figures to hand, but doing a timing chain and a clutch plus the parts, I'll probably make similar sort of money that I was going to make on the clutch and service yesterday. So yeah, not losing out as such. Maybe a bit more hassle, I don't know, because I've got to sell it as well. So here we go with the Brothers 1 Series. Oil filter over here. That's all just draining out. Now he's had a full service last year. Admittedly, he does do about 20,000 miles a year. And this is the state of the oil, air filter after 20,000 miles. Look at that underneath all of that. So yeah, get a fresh man one going in. Oil filter out. Use the old air filter just for it to drain. Old seal off. New filter. New seal, and it also comes with a sump washer on these BMWs. Now I don't know how interesting servicing is really, so I won't show much of it, but yeah, fuel filter on these is a bit of a tricky position. It's mobile on the ground anyway. On a ramp they're a lot easier, but I'll show you when I do that next. Right, so underneath the car, the fuel filter is under this panel here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 8mm bolts. Once all of those is removed, you've got to then swing it all around and then we can see the fuel filter. So it can get quite messy. Got a plug here and you've got fuel going in. You've got these little green tabs. There we go. Make sure to drain it all out, and then I've got to get this electrical part off and put it on the new one. Right, that's the Brothers car all done. Just stopped for a quick subway, and the heat is getting intense now. I'm gonna let me go. Everybody's too goddamn selfish. Yeah, so I'm gonna be taking this next oil change very, very slowly, but not too slowly because I've obviously got to get home for this Zoom meeting. And I just want to ask, if you've been a regular subscriber for a long time now, or even if you're just watching this for the first time, can I ask a favour? I had about 3 or 4 months off of YouTube, and ever since I've got back, it's like people are not seeing my videos. The views have gone straight down. I don't know if my content's worse all of a sudden. But yeah, I've had a few people say, oh, I haven't realised you're back on YouTube. I haven't seen your videos pop up. So if you could, just like this video, leave me a comment, and most importantly, share it. Share it into a group chat, share it to a mate that likes cars or might want this video. It might just help the algorithm again. So yeah, anyway, let's get to the next service. Not much to see here, it was just a quick oil change. Right, Wednesday, and first job of the day, got a DPF clean on this recovery truck. I'll put his details if you're in the Aylesbury area, Buckinghamshire area. So we've got it plugged in up there. I'm just going to fire a load in. So we're going to hold the revs just about there, and then watch the pressures drop on the graph. So at idle we're looking at under 10 HPAs, and then at this sort of revs about 50, 60. Right, that's the DPF clean done that, and I've just been to a non-start. and that turned out to be just a blown fuse, an engine management fuse on a little Fiesta. Battery was weak as well, so he wanted a new one of those, so I've just been to get that. And since then I've had a call out, which I'm going to now. She's had somebody look at her Polo for a misfire. We like a Polo misfire this week, don't we? So yeah, actually my recovery driver, he's gone to go get that Polo for me. I've bought it, paid 300 quid for it. Hopefully it's worth 15 to 2 on a good day once I've done the clutch and the timing chain. Don't know if it's worth it, but hey ho, I'm like a magpie. So yeah, got a call out now for a misfire. They said it needs spark plugs, or try spark plugs first. I've asked her if it's been diagnosed, and she said yes, it's been diagnosed as try spark plugs. That's not a diagnosis, that's just a guess. So we're gonna go there, stick the computer on, see if the misfire moves when we change the plugs about, and go from there really. And then I've got a bit of a drive to go do some brakes. Boring. Actually, it might not be boring, because I think one of the pistons have shot out of the caliper, so we'll see. Right, that Polo was just a coil pack, so slapped that on and got out of there. And then we've got this Transit Custom now. And somebody tell me what is wrong with this picture. Oh, look at that. But yeah, it's got so much, the pads popped out, and it's also the piston. That's just all ripped and pissing out brake fluid. So we're gonna have to do the discs and the caliper. Alright, brakes are out, caliper's off. There we are. Just show you, big split in the boot. Disc is off, new disc is on. New caliper is about to go in, and it says do not operate lever before fitting and applying pressure. I hate cars. Ah, bloody hell. Simple jobs causing me a pain in the Finish those brakes, put the pads and discs and the caliper on, went to go bleed it, and my brake bleeder decides it doesn't want to and because the piston had leaked out so much fluid, there's a lot of air in the system. I managed to get a bit of a pedal with the customer coming out and pressing on the brake, and then me releasing from the caliper, but it kept on coming up with brake fluid low. So on those Transit Customs, you've got the reservoir which you fill it in, and then you've got the main reservoir on the master cylinder. Could I get any more fluid in there without pressure? Nah. There's a pipe, overspill pipe I guess, that goes from the top reservoir down to the bottom one. Well, it's not even an overfill, it's just a fill. And it would get to a certain amount and just not go in anymore. So I took the pipe off to try and get some other bits of pipe, and brake fluid is so messy, so slippery, and I was just getting absolutely peed off with it. I was having such a good day before that, and I'm sure any mechanic watching this can relate. You're having a great day, everything's going well, and then one little thing just puts you in a bad mood. And now I've got to go back tomorrow. I've got to buy a new brake bleeder, which I need anyway, and I've got to come all the way out here, which is out of my area. I'm covering for a mate. So tomorrow I was meant to meet up with my mate to talk about this mentoring program we're going to start, and he's quite busy his end, and he said, can we do Tuesday? I was like, do you know what, that works for me. I've just bought a Polo, it needs a clutch and a timing chain, I can get on with that. So that was what I was going to do tomorrow. But then 2 jobs have come through, some more brakes and a starter motor. And when you're self-employed, you can't say no. So I was going to go do those 2 jobs and then go and do the clutch on this Polo. But yeah, that's going to have to wait till next week now. and I'll do a separate video on that one for you guys. But anyway, that is it for Wednesday. Great success. Right, it's Thursday and I've calmed down a little bit. I've been and got my new brake bleeder, so I'm going to get that set up, get these bled probably in about 5 minutes. I shouldn't have said that, touch wood, which I could have done yesterday, but here we are. It's about midday. I had a little meeting today to set up a new website for my remapping sort of venture, because I want to do that separate to the mobile mechanic business. So yeah, let's get this bled up and hopefully sorted. Well, there we go, all done. Literally 2 minutes, bled up the back 2 brakes, and that was it. This is why I was so frustrated yesterday, because what could have taken me 2-3 minutes took me about 45 minutes of messing around and still not getting it right yesterday, just because my tool didn't bloody work. But anyway, that's done. We'll move on. We might go and start this Polo that I've bought now, possibly. Right, I'm back at the unit, and this looks familiar, I bet. The silver Polo. Now, I've got this delivered, and when I had a think about it, there was one thing I didn't check the other day, which was quite stupid of me, really. So I moved the coil packs around, moved the spark plugs around, moved the injectors around. The misfire stayed where it was. It did have a timing chain or some sort of timing camshaft fault, if I remember correctly. But the one thing I didn't check was compression. So if we've got a problem in the cylinder, it is a scrap car. So I paid scrap money, £300, for a car that is literally scrap. I'm gonna have a little listen to the chain as we start it up for the first time from cold. I'll be honest, that sounded quite good. As in the chain, there was no chain rattle. I think I'm gonna do a bit of a compression check. I'm still gonna do the clutch, I think, because I think you can still drive it. I might just use it as a little bit of a smoke about town in, or maybe we can test out some products, you know, stuff that thickens the oil or is meant to improve compression. Right, let's do a compression check. Right, cylinder number 1. A nice healthy 13 bar, 180 psi. Now, just to delay the suspense, I'm going to check cylinder 3, because the fault was on cylinder 2. So let's see what that reads. Just over 12 bar. Right, now for cylinder number 2, and to find out if I've just bought a scrap vehicle. Oh no. That's not good, is it? Oh, that is not good. So we've got just under 100 psi and just under 7 bar. Right, I'm just gonna add a bit of oil. Got a little funnel. So, because you can't really get in there, so all that'll do is, if the rings are bad, very, very temporarily, it should give it enough compression to raise it. If it doesn't, it could be the valves. And like I said, I did possibly think it could be carbon on the valves. It has raised it. Oh dear. So what do I do with that Polo? I'm pretty sure it's going to be piston rings. So what do I do? There is some additive you can add to the oil that is meant to improve compression. I'd actually quite like to try that, because I don't think I've ever tried it and seen a result. So I might try that, even as a temporary repair, because even if I have to do the piston rings on that one cylinder, they're not too bad to do, those little engines. There's not much to them. So it would be a bit of extra time, a slight bit of extra cost, but I could still be in profit. Or I could just keep the car as a little customer car, you know, for when their car's off the road. Could do that maybe. But yeah, what a silly mistake for not checking that in the first place. Oh well, you win some, you lose some, and then some you break even on. If I break even and get some content, and you never know, the video might earn £300 worth of revenue, if not more. I mean, none of my videos do that much, but it'd be nice if this video just exploded, you know. So please comment, like, subscribe, share it with your friends and say, look at this idiot, he bought a car, he's a mechanic, he didn't check it over. I can see the comment section now. Yeehaw, mobile mechanic. Anyway, on to do some brakes and we are done for the day. Good morning, it's Friday and I've already been out to my first job. It was just a customer of mine. He overfilled his daughter's car with oil. I thought it hadn't been driven, but when I got there, this happened some miles ago. Luckily it weren't too overfilled, so just drained a bit out. It was smoking a tad, but it is what it is. It'll be fine. Another one of my customers, I went to go see his brakes yesterday. He said they were grinding, and he goes, oh, it weren't that long ago that you replaced the brakes. I was like, yeah, I know, bloody hell, that's pretty bad. If they're grinding, something must be stuck. But I'd been to replace the rear brakes and the front brakes were grinding. So back home, another set of pads and discs, equally worn down as the ones yesterday. I was going to go up the unit and have a look at that Polo, but I think I might just get another engine for it, to be honest. They're about 300 quid plus delivery. So if I take the timing chain kit back, that's 100 and something quid. Yeah, plus it's, you know, a lot quicker to put an engine in that thing rather than strip the head. Yeah, it's just not worth the hassle all the time. So I think I'm going to order an engine for it. So yeah, before I'm going to come home, I've got 2 dead cars on my drive. Got the Range Rover, the £600 Range Rover, which has now got another gearbox leak. Again, I'll be doing a separate video on all of this. And then I've had this Vito on my drive that I bought off the brother-in-law for over a year now. I'll show you the faults it's got, but this will be a separate video as well, but I'll just show you what I'm doing. So the story with this one goes, the brother-in-law had it, he had a battery warning light come on and then one day it wouldn't start. So put a new battery in, which was that one there, and then that was fine for a few days, and then I checked the auxiliary battery, which is that one, and normally that sits underneath the seat base and you can't get to it apart from going through the back. So we replaced that one because it was all green and crusty and he was still having problems with it. Still had problems with the power steering, so as soon as you turn it on and touch the wheel would just sort of lock up and you'd have no power steering. He got fed up with it, and also he got a different truck, and then that's where I bought it off him and found all these wires and the big chunky cable that goes from the fuse box. Yeah, you can see it there. See that cable? It's all been caught behind the seat, so that's not connected either end now. And there was a big 200 amp fuse blown under the fuse box, so I've replaced all of that and I've still got a problem. But where the fuse box is under here and it's been parked up against my house, I've not been able to get to the fuse box to then check the fuses that were maybe all belonging to these little wires. So that's what I'm doing now. See if we can find a fault, try and get this thing back on the road. I finished testing all the fuses and they've all got 12 volts across the fuses apart from these 3. The fuse ain't blown, so what are they and what do they do and where do they go? Looking on Haynes, those 3 there, they are to do with the AdBlue. We do have an AdBlue fault coming up on the dash, but that's not going to cause your power steering to go heavy. So you can have a look at power steering fuses, maybe under the bonnet there might be some, or relays. I'm going to check that. But we do have charging voltage coming out of this bottom power cable, and that does go over there. I didn't film a lot of that. I've been at that Vito for at least a couple of hours actually. I had to go help my mate out, another mobile mechanic in the area. He was out with his missus and his kid, and his X5 wouldn't start round the corner from me. Yeah, then came back, checked the wiring to the... So I'm looking on Haynes for this power steering control module, and they give you a picture, but you know, I thought at first that's what it looks like, but turns out the module is part of the steering rack or the motor. So I had 12 volts going down there. I don't have a scope to check the CAN wires, which I'd need to do, but I'm swaying towards it's going to need a new rack, or at least that motor. I don't know if they do it separately, but when that wire was chafed, I think before that fuse is blown, it's damaged the motor or control module, whatever you want to call it, because I know they're quite sensitive on them Mercs. I've heard it before, where if you change a track rod end, you've got to recalibrate it all. So yeah, I'm a bit defeated for today. I'm absolutely melting. I'm tired, calling it a day, and that's why I haven't been on that Mercedes for so long, because I know it's not a quick fix. So if anybody knows of power steering racks, electric power steering racks being refurbished anywhere, let me know, because I think that's what I'm going to have to do, because I think a new rack's going to be silly money. That is it for the week. Another chatty vloggy week, not too much mechanical, but it's difficult to vlog when you're, I won't even say busy, but just hot. But yeah, hope you've all enjoyed it. A little insight if you're new here, little insight to what goes on. And if you have enjoyed it, don't forget to leave me a comment, press the like button, subscribe, hit the notification button, and share it with your friends. And I'll see you on the next one.